What's up, guys? So today, what I think I'm going to talk about is celebrating your wins. So I know it's been a couple of days since I've posted. I think it's been maybe 4 days since I posted. I have been practicing my communication exercises just in different ways, and I haven't been recording it. Like the other day, I practiced via voiceover exercise, and that practice consisted of just reading off a really long passage of a script. And I usually don't record like that. Well, I haven't in the past. What I typically have done in the past is when I get a long script, I will attack it section by section and then cut and edit to make it sound like one cohesive thing. But someone like a voiceover teacher that I've been working with, voiceover coach, I should say, said that it's more effective to do it in one take. And it is. It's just a little bit harder, especially if it's something that you haven't done in the past. So say all of that to say that I have been getting practice in, even though I have not been recording it. But I was like, let's get back to recording it because this is one of the things that I said that I'm going to do. So let's do it. So, like I said in the beginning, this video is going to be about celebrating your wins. And I brought that story up because it's still a win. It can be so easy to harp on the things that you're not doing and get down on yourself when you're not doing things. But sometimes we have to give ourselves grace and also give ourselves, I think the word would be awareness, or give ourselves the praise that is deserved when we are doing the things that we are supposed to be doing, or the things that we said that we're going to do when we actually do them. It can be so easy to look past them and move on to the next thing and the next thing. But that's whenever you get kind of, at least in my experience, that can lead to a lot of frustration because you feel like you're not going anywhere. And you feel like you're not making any progress, even though you are, because you're just not aware of it and you're not giving yourself the credit that you deserve because of the things you've been doing. It actually reminds me of something that happened literally today, but it's something I've been dealing with for the past week because I've been wanting, and it's my goal to get more serious about creating content, and short form content in particular. I'm still doing the long form content with this, but one of the things that I'm working on is coming up with these short reels and trying to figure out how to post more consistently and come up with really good ideas to post so we can grow the reach of our videos, because I have to take accountability that the videos that I've been making aren't reaching the amount of people or getting the amount of views that I want them to get. And rather than blaming the algorithm. I don't know why I said it like that. It was like a struggle to get that word out. Instead of blaming the algorithm, I have to take responsibility on some of the things that I can improve. Because that's the only thing I can really It's the only thing that's really in my control. So one of the things that's been getting to me is that I've been feeling like, there's no ideas, and there's no good ideas that I can come up with. And when I think about good ideas, my brain starts to hurt, even though I feel like I've come up with good ideas in the past. And I gave myself some grace today because I came up with like 3 or 4 good ideas that I'm really excited about making. I'm going to film, I think, 2 or 3 of them tomorrow. At least 2 for sure. I have the third idea. I don't know if I'm going to be able to film it tomorrow, but if I do, that'd be awesome. But that's one of those examples of no matter how the videos do performance-wise, and hopefully, fingers crossed, they do good. But even if they don't, I feel a lot more confident about the ideas that I'm able to have because I just had some good ideas. But if I just disregard that and think of, all right, the next idea, I can never build on some of the ideas that I had today. And I think it's, again, just important to be aware and conscientious of the idea of the good and the progress that we're having today. That's just my opinion. And I think this goes for many different things, not just, ideas or content creation. I think this goes to any aspects in life. And this is not to say, because it can be very easy to, at least I'm finding, to trick yourself in saying, hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing the best that I can, and use that as a gateway to do less than what you actually can do. So it's kind of a version of tricking and manipulating yourself into why you're not acting and why you're not doing certain things. And I think that's going to bleed out in different areas of your life, at least for me. I'm not going to say what it does for you, but I've been reading this book. It's going to connect, I promise. I know it feels a little disconnected, but I've been reading this book that my barber actually introduced to me yesterday. As you guys can see, I got a haircut. This is yesterday. And my barber, he's like one of the most inspirational cats ever. He's this dude named Edwin. And he's from the Dominican Republic, I think. He's Dominican. And he's just this really inspirational cat. I mean, this guy is like true rags to riches story. He came up from New York, struggling, and moved down here to Monroe, of all places, and started working at a barbershop. He was working in a barbershop in New York as well. When he came down here, he started working in a barbershop. Didn't really get along with the guy he was working for, and he felt the urge to leave him. And I think this is either before or after. He was a garbage man for a little while. No, that's what it was. He came down here and he was a garbage man. So he was a barber all his life, came down here, said he doesn't want to cut hair anymore, became a garbage man. And even to be a garbage man, he had to it was a bunch of politics into that, to where he almost couldn't even get a job as a garbage man. But his personality was so radiant that I think during the training, he talked to one of the managers just offhandedly. I don't think it had anything to do in connection with the job, but the manager liked him so much that she gave him a spot, even though there was somebody else that was higher level saying that they didn't want him there because I think he may have crashed the truck or something, which is a pretty good reason not to hire someone. But you're gonna make mistakes. You've never driven a truck before, so he ended up getting that job. And he ended up saving up some money, getting a house, and then he decided, he didn't want to do that anymore. So he went back to barbershopping. And then he didn't like the barbershop that he was at. It's something about the guy there. I don't want to tell his business, but they didn't get along. And they didn't have the same aligned visions as far as what they wanted to do with the shop. And I believe that the guy wanted him to go into partnership with him. But he didn't like the way, my barber Edwin didn't like the way the direction and that was going for the barbershop. So he was like, I can't do that. And then they started having disagreements, and he ended up leaving and then joining this other barbershop where he's at now. And I think he said within 3 or 4, possibly 5 months, he ended up buying that barbershop out, and now it's his. And he's got this thriving barbershop. I think he has 4 or 5 barbers now, and it's just a beautiful thing to see. All that to say, he's a really inspirational cat. He walks the walk. You know what I mean? He's not just someone who's just reading these books and listening to these motivational things. He's living the life, and you can tell by the way he talks, with the passion that he speaks with, and the messages that he says at the right times. He knows how to talk to people. And English is not even his first language. He's always saying, how do you say, so, but he understands what he's trying to communicate with. Amazing guy. But he recommended me this book. It's called One More Time or One More Rep or something like that by Ed Mallett. I'm really liking the book. And one of the things that they said in the book, I'm still listening to it, but one of the things that they said in the book was, it's about your intention. Like, trust that you have the intention to be a better person. Trust that you have the intention to have a better body. Trust that you have the intention, for myself, to make better content, to post more consistently, to show up, to have better ideas, to be a better person. And that will take you a long way. You have to give yourself the grace of that intention. It may not always play out with the final result, but what your intention is, and knowing that you have that intention is enough, in believing that is enough to know that you can take that next step, that you don't have to feel down and in the dumps after you do it. And that's something that really resonated with me. It's something that I wrote down last night, and it's just something that really resonated with me. So what I'm finding is there's a lot of reasons and a lot of things that we can focus on when they don't go right, or things don't end up exactly how we want them to. But even in those moments, it's important to give ourselves grace and to celebrate the wins, because there are wins there. Even if they're not wins in the particular situation, there are wins in our lives that we're working towards if we just focus on those and we find those. And once we find those and we become aware of those, we can use those as stepping stones and use them as momentum to build to the next win. Knowing that if we win once, we can win again. And I think that's how I'm going to conclude this video, because it's such a beautiful thing. And knowing that we have this momentum going forward, and that you have the power and the momentum going forward if you just become aware of it. It's a very powerful thing. See you guys tomorrow.